This is 2LO, the London station of the British Broadcasting Company calling. 2LO calling.
Broadcasting is a development with which the future must reckon, and reckon seriously.
Hello, CQ. Hello, CQ. This is 2Emma Talk, Rittle testing. This is 2Emma Talk, Rittle testing.
Hello. Hello. Paul Kerensa. Good evening. Good afternoon, depending on when you're watching this.
Leave the jokes to me. Yeah. Why are you here tonight?
Been invited. Well, no, I asked if I could do my touring show. The first broadcast, the battle for the Beeb in 1922. I've probably got a flyer somewhere. There's no point me flying it because the tour's over. This is, in theory, pretty much the last night of the tour. But yeah, you know, we've come, we've toured, we've been across the land telling this great story of ye olde broadcasting. There it is. That's the show I've been doing. And
let's focus on it.
There we go. And it's a celebration of 100 years of British broadcasting. And it's been a joy to tell this marvellous tale. And we've come here to Chelmsford, birthplace of radio, where this show belongs.
Tell us about the props.
Right, so ignore the telephone, that's a replica. But down here we have a genuine 1920s crystal radio set. And this is...
that's the cat's whisker, is it?
The cat's whisker. You can even see here, type approved, BBC, Postmaster General, etc., etc. So this is a proper... In fact, no, I can show you these.
Is this a Tim Wonder special?
This is... Tim's got a few of these. Yeah, I did this show over at Tim's place in the Isle of Wight, and he brought his collection as well. I've just got the one. He's got a few, of course. But
can you pick up ITV and BBC on it?
You get Netflix if you really angle it around properly. But
so how's your show gone down? This is your last one in the series, and have you left it because it's your home crown?
Well, I like to think so, of course. I've got one other show. I'm going to attempt to. My knees are going to give way. You know,
okay.
Just bring up with me. Come with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Essex, Chelmsford tonight, and then on Monday, 3 days' time, I'm in London on the actual birthday of the BBC, the 100th birthday of the first
Ali Pally
BBC. There's this bit, the Museum of Comedy, which is a lovely little tiny museum, but they've got Tommy Cooper's Fez collection, Del Boy's number plate, all those sorts of things. So it's
and what are you going to donate?
Well, yeah, exactly. Whatever I forget, and you know, I've got. What need the props and all.
You give them mic.
They can have the mic. They can have the. No, they can't have this. The special. Let me show you some more things. Look, if you like a bit of this stuff.
Yeah.
This is Radio Times from where we got 1941.
Yeah. If you just hold it level with your face.
Oh, there you go. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Good luck.
A little bit of shine, but that's okay.
Press.
This is the first, as far as I'm aware. I've done a lot of research into it. The earliest book on wireless, on radio. It's from long before, about 5 years before the BBC, and it's written by a Captain Donisthorpe. There we go. Wireless at Home. Everybody's Guide to Receiving Wireless News, Concerts and Messages by H.D.A. Donisthorpe, Captain, who I mentioned very early on in the show because Horace Donisthorpe and his wife Gertrude in the First World War were really Britain's first music DJs. They were putting on concerts for the troops in sort of 1916 even, so even before Chelmsford found a home, even before broadcasting was a word.
Nothing new under the sun, eh?
Nothing.
What about the other little lovely collection?
So we've got, this is when the late 20s radio celebrities, the old cigarette cards you could get. So you've got Stuart Hibbard,
Eckers?
Freddie Griswood. Eckersley's not in it, because this is, by that point, he's behind the scenes. So this is Christopher Stone, the first DJ in 1927. He comes in doing that. So, you know, you could collect this and you could add it to your collection. Paul Robeson there.
Did you buy it as a complete set?
I did. I got this as a complete set. That's the second series as well. So we've also got here the BBC staff regulations and general information from 1962. But better than that, this is my favourite, 1948, the BBC Variety Programme Policy Guide, aka the Green Book. Now this is what you can and can't say on the air. So these are all the rules. Religious references. We're in a church.
Go for it.
Religious references. This is what you can and can't do on the BBC in 1948. Reference to and jokes about different religions or religious denominations are banned. The following are also inadmissible. Jokes about AD or BC, as in before Crosby, because they would do jokes about music hall and singers go, well, before Crosby, things like this. Jokes or comic songs about spiritualism, christenings, religious ceremonies of any descriptions, weddings, funerals, parodies of Christmas carols. So those are all banned. You would not hear that on the BBC, certainly in 1948.
Isn't that good, though? Or...
Well, good that you ban it or not, I don't know. This is the thing, they had their rules and regulations, political references, right? The BBC were very hot, of course, on political references. What you could or couldn't say, should or shouldn't do. No precise general directive can be given, since each individual case needs to be considered on its merits and the performance. It's not telling you what to do, it's just saying, bear in mind at the time. The interesting thing I found in my research, because I do this podcast called the British Broadcasting Century, digging into all this stuff, and I found that as we celebrate, commemorate 100 years of the BBC, but actually 11 days before the BBC launched was the first accusation of BBC bias.
From which side? 2
weeks before the BBC was even on air, there were complaints in the newspapers, and basically it was a pre-BBC experimental broadcast, and it's an engineer testing the signal, and they were reading any old thing. They pick up a newspaper and they would just read it, and it could be a newspaper, a headline, a letter to the editor, a sports thing, but he happened to read a political, because the general election was about to happen, and so it was a column that had expressed a political
viewpoint. Not politics, please.
So 13 days or 11 days before the BBC launched was someone heard on the air a test signal which was in theory biased, telling people which way to vote, and that's because the engineer happened to just read that thing. So there you go. BBC bias has been there longer than the BBC has been there. Bonkers.
Even when it wasn't done on purpose.
Accidental. And that's the thing they had to say, look, we looked into it and it turns out it was this, we're sorry.
No one has to have the whip drawn.
But that's why you have a book like this saying, bear in mind, this is what you can, can't, shouldn't do.
Paul, I'd love to read that book. I'm not going to borrow it off you, but have you dissected it and put tasty bits on video or somewhere?
What? I haven't yet, but I put a tiny bit. But actually, it's quite a short book, so I reckon I could probably read this in about 15 minutes or something. Like that. So I think we might do that. We'll put it. I'll tell you what, you've inspired me. We'll put it on Facebook.
Hello, CQ. Hello, CQ. This is 2Emma Talk, Riddle testing. This is 2Emma Talk, Riddle testing. Hello, CQ. Hello. Hello, Ash. Hello, Ash. Ash, hello. The signal's okay? No, they're not. Wave your hand if it's all okay. No waves? No waves at all. Curse. Kirk, is that all right in there? Kirk! No? Not? Sorry? Well, sorry, CQ. Closing down a moment. Hello, CQ. Hello, CQ. This is 2Emma Talk, Riddle testing. This is 2Emma Talk, Riddle testing.